Imagine a private club whose members don't just predict the future of the global economy, they shape it, a place where a single phone call could prevent a country from going bankrupt or cause a market to collapse. From Washington to London and Tokyo, there is an old saying in the corridors of power: you don't work for the government works for the bank. This isn't just a financial institution, it's an elite finishing school for those who manage the planet. This is the firm that has spent 150 years perfecting the art of never losing. This is the story of Goldman Sachs, the vampire squid wrapped around the face of humanity. To truly understand Goldman Sachs, you have to look beyond the billions of dollars and consider the revolving door. Scan the history of the U.S. Treasury, the European Central Bank, or the World Bank, and you will start to see a recurring pattern. An incredible number of the people making the biggest decisions in history have one thing in common on their CVs: Goldman Sachs. This isn't just lobbying, it's seamless integration into the state. When the economy is booming, they advise on the world's largest mergers. When it crashes, governments hire them to fix it. It's a win-win situation that has turned influence into a science. The world truly saw the teeth behind the mask in 2008. While the global economy was collapsing and families were losing their homes, Goldman was playing a completely different game. They were selling complex subprime mortgage investments to their own clients, while secretly betting billions that those investments would fail. In the industry, this is known as hedging. To everyone else, it felt like a betrayal. Goldman made billions while their clients lost everything. This prompted the famous description of the firm as a great vampire squid relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into anything that smells like money. That phrase didn't just stick, it became the firm's shadow identity. However, the 2008 crisis was merely one chapter in a much larger book of global manipulation. To understand the true extent of their influence, we must consider how they control entire nations. Consider the case of Greece. In the early 2000s, Goldman helped the Greek government use complex financial derivatives to hide the true size of its national debt. This enabled Greece to join the Eurozone despite not meeting the necessary criteria. Years later, when the reality finally caught up, it triggered a debt crisis that threatened to destroy the entire euro currency. However, Goldman had already walked away with hundreds of millions of dollars in fees. They designed structures that are too complex for the public to understand, but too important for the world to allow to fail. If you think these scandals are a thing of the past, consider the 1MDB fraud in Malaysia, arguably the largest financial heist in history. Billions of dollars intended for public infrastructure and development were funneled into private bank accounts, luxury yachts, and the financing of Hollywood films. Goldman Sachs arranged the bonds that made this possible. Although they claimed to have been misled by rogue employees, they eventually had to pay nearly $3 billion in fines to settle the case. Yet even after a scandal that would have bankrupted any other institution, Goldman's power remained unshaken. In the world of high finance, they aren't just participants, they are the infrastructure itself. Inside the firm, the culture is one of an almost fanatical meritocracy. They hire the brightest and work them until they break, often requiring 100-hour weeks from young associates. The message is clear. If you can survive the pressure, you earn the right to rule. This creates a fiercely loyal workforce that views the world through a cold, mathematical lens. They don't see people or communities, only flows of capital. They sit at the intersection of every major industry, central bank, and government, anticipating the movement of money. Today, Goldman is undergoing a transformation. They are moving away from being the bank for billionaires and trying to play a role in the lives of ordinary people by offering consumer banking services and using data. They intend to leverage their substantial analytical capabilities to predict spending habits and manage debt. However, their core mission remains unchanged. Information is the ultimate currency, and Goldman has more of it than anyone else. They are the ultimate insiders in a world of outsiders. Looking at the global landscape in 2025, the question isn't whether Goldman Sachs is good or evil. That's too simplistic. The real question is whether our modern financial system can function without them. We have built an economy that is so complex and so reliant on high-speed capital that entities like Goldman Sachs have become indispensable. They are the architects of a system that rewards those who can anticipate a crash and know how to profit from the aftermath. Ultimately, Goldman Sachs is a reflection of our global priorities. They remind us that in the 21st century, the most powerful weapon isn't a missile, it's a balance sheet. They are the masters of the game. And as long as the game is played with money, the vampire squid will always find a way to feed.